Hi friends! I actually have a very short story for you today because I have 3 different poems, one's a song, that I do want you to know and to learn. I have them hung up behind me. We're going to go over them because if you were in class with me and we were together, we would know these new spring flowery garden songs. This story is called Amy Loves the Sun, and it's just about a little girl, a little younger than you, who's just playing outside in the sun with flowers. It is by Julia Hoban, and the pictures are by Lillian Hoban. Amy loves the sun. It is a sunny day. Amy runs through the grass. The sun shines on the grass and makes it warm. The warm grass is soft on Amy's bare toes. The sun shines on the flowers, yellow dandelions, white daisies. The daisies have yellow centers. Amy picks 4 dandelions and 1 daisy. There is a bumblebee. He is smelling the flowers. Amy smells the flowers too. The flowers smell like sunshine. Oh, Amy's nose is yellow from the dandelion. There is a caterpillar on a daisy. It is soft and fuzzy. Its fuzz feels so warm in the sun. Amy gives Mommy the flowers. Thank you, Amy. Mommy will put the dandelions in water, and we can put the daisy in Amy's hair. Now, I thought this story was really neat because it matched with one of the poems that we would have learned if we were in class. And one of the poem is called Flowers. Now I'm going to use, we've talked about using different things that you have around the house for pointers, because if I were at school, I'd be using a pointer. And our friend from class, Javier, was practicing reading poems on the wall, and he used a wooden spoon, and I loved it. I thought that was a really great idea because it has such a nice big top part that you can really point to the words and follow along. So my poem is called Flowers. And grown-ups, remember, you don't have to have a big sheet of paper. I actually did happen to have some at home. I am stuck here too, and a lot of things, I don't have a lot of the supplies I usually have. But again, if you write it on just a plain sheet of notebook paper, you can do the same things. You can even use wooden spoons and all different things as pointers to track print. That actually is a really important pre-reading skill. We want to stress that groups of letters are together is what makes these words. And then after we learn the poem and learn how to point to the words and read it, we can go in and even pick out different letters and different words to read. So this one is called Flowers, and it reminded me of Amy Loves Sun because it talked about having a flower in the hair. Flowers, flowers everywhere, in the garden, in my hair. In the vase and at the store, on the table, on the door. What a lovely time of year. Flowers blooming, bringing cheer. I wanted to do that poem because we've been having April showers, and we know April showers bring May flowers. We talk about flowers and planting a lot this time of year. There is a word in this poem that I would have showed your child, and we would have practiced finding it, maybe doing word circles, maybe coming up and pointing to it, and that word is the. Really important pre-reading word to know, and it helps them transition right into reading next year. And I would tell them, hey, there is this word, the. We see the a lot in books. It's even in the title of my book, Amy Loves the Sun, and I can find it. This word, the, is also in my poem. So you could tell your child, hey, this is the word the. Let's practice reading it on our card. You don't have to have 3x5 cards. You could use a little piece of paper, but then they could practice going into the poem and pointing and finding the word the. You could also pick out different letters. If you wanted, you could pick out the word flower, the F's, all different kinds of things. Remember, you're going to want to stress going left to right and really tracking that print while you're reading it. I have another poem, but it's really a song. And I think your children will really love this one. And the reason they're going to love it is because it goes to the song that they already know, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes. So it has the tune, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees, and toes. But because we were talking about spring and flowers and things growing, this one is called Parts of a Plant. And it does talk about, and you could do more science with your child with this poem, and it goes, flowers, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots, flower, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. All it takes is sun, soil, and water, flower, stem, leaves and roots, leaves and roots. And you would want to talk about the parts of the plant or the parts of the flower, what each part does. You could have your child sketch it. You could have them label it. And again, you could have them go in and find different words. I see a lot of ands in here, and that's another great word to start teaching your child, especially if they know their letters and they know all their letter sounds. This is the next step. I do have one more, and I am going to post these online so you'll be able to have them, and that way you'll be able to copy them on your time. And this one is May, because Friday is May 1st. A lot of times we call it May Day, and it's a day where actually you surprise somebody by giving them flowers. May. May is the month of sunshine and flowers, birds in their nests, and 1 or 2 showers. Games to play and kites to fly, or just looking at the sky. We could spend a year this way, if the year were made of May. And again, you might want to point out different letters. You might want to point out different words. A neat thing I like to do is take a card. This is just a 3x5 card. Again, you could do it with paper. And this is just making a frame. I just cut a little skinny rectangle out on the inside. And you could play I Spy with it. I spy a letter that makes this sound. And your child would have to come up, and in the frame, they can make the letter stand out on its own. S. S makes a sound. They could do it back to you. They could say, hey, I spy a letter that makes this sound. What? And then maybe you or they would find that W. Again, you can find different words. There's that word the again. Practice these poems. It's actually one of the reasons we do poems and songs so much is the more poems and songs and familiar children get with the language and the rhythm of our language, the easier it is for them to read in the future. So have fun with these, and I'll see you soon.